Leon and Chad coming to you from the yoga studio. We are going to review the spring cycle that we just started last week. Today's Wednesday, April 18th. We started it on Monday, the 9th. You guys got to kind of see what week one looked like. We're going to explain it, and hopefully it has a little context now. Mondays, we got some sort of squat, and typically it's going to be max effort built to a 5 rep max, 3 rep max, etc. And you're going to then perform some work based off of that, feel-based volume essentially. And you guys have seen them, they're the drop sets. There's usually 95 or 90%. Try not to get fixated on the max. Build up to whatever you think a good max is for you that day. It doesn't have to be an ultimate max, but something that's pretty close for that day based on how you feel, and then perform the drop sets based off of that. The drop sets are actually where you're going to get stronger. That's the real work involved here. So don't get fixated and carried away with those drop sets. How do you feel about how they've been going so far?
I like the drop set idea. I like that we're going by feel for one. So that's something that Chad definitely talked about just now. If you see another squat, like another 5 rep back squat, and say the first week you did it at 225, and you're like, this week, well, I only feel 215, that's okay. You may have had very different days. You might have had the greatest sleep ever Sunday night because they're going to be sticking to Mondays, and then who knows, the kids were up crazy, and then you didn't get the best sleep, eat, whatever the case may be. So don't focus on that number. Focus on the drop set number, and that's where, like Chad said, you're going to get super strong. And I think that you guys are already starting to feel that stuff start to get back. I know we've only been doing it for 2 cycles so far, but I think that you guys can feel overall like, okay, this is going to be doing the trick. So I really like that we've been doing the drop set stuff. I think it's going to pay off huge after the 12 weeks.
Yeah, I did the back squats Monday, and I hadn't back squatted in months, and felt a lot better than I expected to, and felt like the work was prescribed accordingly. It was good, productive set. And one thing I maybe got ahead of was one of the themes in this cycle is just kind of getting back to some of the classic strength and conditioning work. We made it through the open, kind of hopefully addressed some lessons learned. If you didn't, watch our previous video from the Coaches Roundtable, where we kind of talk through how to evaluate your strengths and weaknesses, and how to kind of move forward this year. But classic strength is where we're going to kind of double down now, spend a lot of our time on. And as a result, we're going to have a little bit less time for conditioning in the hour. So on Mondays, we're also going to have a shorter Metcon. And short is usually defined as 5 to 10 minutes. The nature of the conditioning on Monday is probably going to have some monostructural element to it. You're running, you're rowing, you're biking. And what we need from you guys is good, crisp transitions, because we want to give you as much time as possible on the squats, and maybe even have time left over to start you off on the accessory. But we need you guys to be right on point, get your sets in and done when we're asking you to do them, and when we transition, to do it quickly, pay attention, just make sure you're on point with the coaches. And then again, after that, we're going to have some accessory work on a few days here, and this is something we haven't formally prescribed in a long time. And when we used to do it, people seem to really love it. It's just something we got away from and want to bring back. It's optional work. It's always going to be optional work. We're going to do our best to start the accessory within the hour, so everybody gets some instruction on it, but that won't always be the case. Sometimes the workout will run up to the hour, or maybe even a little bit over, and we won't get to touch on it. Just if you want to do it, be respectful of the coach and realize they have to get the next class started, and then they may have a minute or two to just show it to you. Or you can defer to a more experienced member who seems like they know what's going on. Just say, hey, can you show me that? You can explain this to me. Everybody's going to be pretty, I think, willing to help in that sense. And the nature of the accessory work is going to vary depending on the day of the week.
Yeah.
And you're going to see some themes, but we're going to try to keep it interesting. Accessory work can sometimes become monotonous. It's not as sexy as the kind of the CrossFit variation that we have. But we're going to try to keep it on a good rotation so people are motivated to do it and excited about it. Anything to add on Monday?
Only the touch on the accessory stuff. There's a lot of bang for your buck in the accessory stuff. So maybe if that's the day that's like, hey, I'm gonna plan that this may go a little bit longer, and this is just gonna get me stronger in different areas. It's gonna help me work on certain things. Like we are squatting, and that is very posterior chain, stuff like that. But how do we get the little minute stuff that we're maybe missing through a squat? Glute accessory, stuff like that. So this is not here just to say, hey, here's extra work. It's going to help you get stronger with those things. So definitely try to make sure that you guys are getting in and focusing on, like, that's just as important. I get it, like, if there's things that you have to get out and go do, like, guys gotta get the kids from school or get them in the gear. Softball, it's springtime sort of, don't go by looking outside, but those things are starting to pick up. So if that is the case, then hey, go get after it. But maybe something you can throw later on, like, hey, what was the accessory? Could you help me and do that later on in the week? Something to focus.
Yeah, and don't fixate if you can't get it in that day. You can bank it.
Yeah.
There are going to be, like I said, certain themes, and if those themes fall into something that you're training towards, like a specific goal you have in mind, you can bank that and use it on a different day of the week. Just make sure there isn't any obvious conflict, like it's not some, handstand push-up practice after a day we blow the shoulders up, something like that. Just use your head, be smart, and try to understand the intent on what Leon said here. Try to, if you're not sure why we're doing something or what something is benefiting, ask us. If we haven't told you already, there's usually a reason why we're having you do it. There's always a reason why.
There's no mindless things that we just throw at you.
All right, so Tuesday, this is a more basic day. This day could have fit into really anywhere in our cycle throughout the year. This is kind of your classic CrossFit day. It's a medium length Metcon with some gymnastics and some weightlifting kind of mixed together. Medium length is defined from 10 to 20 minutes, so a little bit of a spread in how long it could be. But generally it's just going to give us more time to warm up and do some skill, some actual teaching, and get ready for those higher skill gymnastics and weightlifting components. Anything else?
No, pretty straightforward day. It's like your typical, hey, we're going to warm up, we're going to hit the workout, we're going to cool down. There's going to be more points, like Chad said, about how to teach on movements. We might slip an accessory in there from time to time, depending on how long the workout is and stuff like that. But yeah, you're going to see longer warm-ups. You're going to see a little bit more instruction on movements. This is also where you may see an Ollie lift come in there. You might see a little bit more cleans and snatching, your traditional things that you've been seeing throughout the year. Maybe a little bit higher skill gymnastics, muscle ups, toes to bar, things like that. Something that we can really give you the final points towards. So like if you're seeing other workouts that are like, oh, that seems pretty simple, these are the days where you're going to see the more complex stuff come back in, because we have the room to kind of guide you guys through it.
The time,
the time to do it. So.
Then you see accessory here too, and you also see this arrow. These days are going to flip-flop every week, just so that people, if they're on a weekly kind of routine, if they always come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like Friday, Saturday, that's a common rotation, they would be missing the long day every week. So this is going to flip-flop every other week. The long day is going to move to Tuesday, and the medium day is going to go to Thursday, just to avoid that tendency. We do generally recommend that you guys have a weekly routine as far as your attendance goes, because you should have that time planned out, because it's your me time, right? This is your time to take back for yourself, to spend some time, making sure you're healthy and fit. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is another typical scheme here. I would probably advise against that in this cycle, because you're not gonna get very many meaty workouts. You're gonna be getting all the strength work, and maybe for some of you that have pretty good conditioning and need strength work, maybe that's a good idea. But for others, if you have some weight loss goals, some conditioning goals, you got to be getting some longer duration workouts in on your Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So try to work those into your schedule.
Yeah.
Wednesday, something push related. It could be bench. That's what we saw today, actually. Pretty aggressive bench sequence today. 5 rep max, and then 4 drop sets of 5. at different percentages. And this could be anything overhead, any type of push press, jerk. What other? I mean, could even do like a floor press, something a little bit more exotic. On some deload weeks, we're going to be putting in some more, maybe even dumbbell presses or kettlebell presses. Just stuff to keep it interesting. We're not going to lock the type of squat, push, or pull. I probably should have started with that. Every week, the type of squat, push, or pull is going to vary, and this is consistent with the West Side barbell approach that Louis Simmons has come up with as being one of the most successful ways to get stronger. Is you're going to max out regularly, but you're not going to do it the same way. You're always going to do it differently, whether it's a different rep max, a different means, a different movement. You're going to see some chains and some bands included towards the end of the cycle, just to find different ways to hit that max effort stimulus. And I think that that's going to be really fun, because it's not going to be monotonous, but it's still going to be good, solid strength work.
And it lines up with CrossFit, right? Constantly varied.
Yeah,
so we're
absolutely.
constantly changing things up. Every Monday we don't want to deliver you the same thing.
Right.
So.
We've done cycles where we've back squatted every Monday and people get stronger for sure, but there definitely is a mental component to coming in and just getting mentally burned out from doing the same stuff. So we want to avoid that.
Yep.
So we got push and then a sprint. This is your really fast workouts, sub 5 minutes. On Wednesday, you got to have that mentality in your mind that today's my day to move really fast, and I'm going to pick whatever scaling option I can move the fastest with, yet still kind of hit the intent of the workout. That's going to take time for you to guys, some of you that haven't done very many sprints, to get the hang of, but it's very valuable work. The sprint days, I would argue, are just as important as the long days.
Yeah, we definitely work in different pathways. I'm sure you guys have heard that before, and that's the one that we don't really touch on the most. So those are like your Fran style workouts where we're really turning and burning. So like Chad said, if you guys see something on the board and you know the goal is sub 5 minutes and you're like, well, I need to adjust some things, so please, that's what we want.
Yeah, well, today is an example, right?
Yeah.
It's two rounds, 200-meter run, 20 thrusters.
Yeah.
Right? And the thruster weight is 95-65. And you might say to yourself, well, I've been doing a lot of 75, 85-pound thrusters lately. Maybe today's my day to do 95. Well, if that's going to cause you to have to go, sets of 5 or something, or 7s or something to get through it, that's not the intent of the workout.
No. The intent is to hold that bar and push it unbroken. So if you need to go lighter, let's do it.
Right. Fran-like.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Sprints are by definition Fran-like.
Exactly.
Right. All right. And then a little bit of accessory work there as well. And again, we may add more if we see this really start to take off and people benefit from this. You may also start to see accessory programmed on more days throughout the week.
Yeah. So please let us know.
Yes.
If you're digging it, tell the coach, hey, I'm liking the accessory, so we know.
Good. Thursday, the long day. Long is defined by 20 minutes or more, but not. There really is no upper bound to that.
No.
You could see hero wads. We are going to have hero wads every Saturday in the month of May, leading up to Murph on Memorial Day. The hero wads that we'll be doing are the ones that were chosen and are listed on the board in the kids' room. On that note, the other benchmarks that were chosen are going to be sprinkled throughout the next 12 weeks, with the first one being the mile run that you guys chose. You did this to yourselves.
Remember that.
And that one's going to pop up a week from this coming Monday. So not this coming Monday, which would be like the 20.
I think it's the first.
Yeah, it's like the
first.
It's like either the 30th or the 21st or the 1st of May.
Yeah.
Sure. That Monday there. That's going to be the mile run. So mark your calendars. If that's what a goal that you want to set, block out that time, be here, be ready to run.
Yeah, not a ghost town.
Yeah.
Remember, you chose these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then the other benchmarks, we're going to post the dates for all the strength, the skill work, and the other benchmarks that were chosen. We'll post the dates so you guys can plan accordingly. If there's something in there that you really, really want to hit, we want to give you the freedom to, schedule around that essentially and be in here for it. All right, so we have Friday now. pull, some type of pull, your deadlifts. We had clean pulls last week. I think it's deadlift this week.
Yep.
And we're gonna also see, it's pull up this week, deadlift next week. And you could also see any type of pull variation really for that strength piece, even barbell row. And then choice for the Metcon, and those of you that were here on Friday, you'll get it. If you weren't here, it might take a little bit of explaining. Essentially, the group collectively issues suggestions to the coach as to what they want to do, and the workout is different every single class throughout the day. And some benefited from a kind of easier workout, and others kind of got a beat down. So voice, your opinion as to what you want. It's your opportunity to put it out there, and the coaches will do their best to come up with something that's appropriate for that group.
Yeah.
So that's something new that we're experimenting with. We took the user's choice EMOM out. That was kind of the democratic day where people got to voice their opinion, but this is our new version of it that we're just toying around with to see what people think of. So please let us know in the form of constructive feedback, not in the form of whining.
Yes.
Whining will not be tolerated.
Yeah. You can actually throw that right in the suggestion box. It looks a lot like a garbage can,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah, we have more of them too.
They're all over the place. All suggestion boxes.
Yeah. Saturday, a little bit more vague in how the workout is structured, because Saturday is a little bit more of a lighter feel in the gym. We want to keep it fun and interesting. It's not so much a rigid training day. It's odd object in some sort of partner or team combination. And we're not going to really constrain it. The duration is going to vary. Could be short, could be long, could be in the middle, could be strength, could be monostructural with a little bit of maybe light sled work in there. Saturdays tend to be pretty vague. Sunday is also going to be a toss-up, and we're going to use Sunday as essentially our throttle. So if we feel like it was kind of an easy week, Sunday is going to be maybe a little bit harder. If it was a hard week, then Sunday might be a bit more of a break, right? Yeah. And we try to go based on the people that come to that one. It's only one WOD at 8:30, and we try to just keep it more relevant to that group and how the whole week has kind of rolled.
Yeah,
so it's varied by nature. It gives us a little bit of play. Anything that we may have missed throughout the week gets put in there. So that's the week. And did you have anything to add, Leon?
No, not so much. It's pretty straightforward, guys. Just how like Chad and I were saying, if you can get in as many different days as possible, that is best for this cycle. There is a routine to it, but like Chad was saying, if you're just coming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're never getting the long days. You're missing out on some accessory work. So maybe this is the time of year, since we're starting a new year, that okay, let me try a new schedule. Let me see how this works. Maybe I can get another 2 days in. If you are doing the 3 days a week and you're kind of feeling stagnant, other than nutrition, fitness is the next thing to kind of talk about. So maybe getting that third or that fourth or fifth day in is where you'll start to kind of push yourself over that.
Adding another day is a really great option, and initially it doesn't even have to be every week. You could just say to yourself, hey, every other week I'm gonna make it my goal to go 4 days instead of 3.
Yeah.
And maybe some weeks you're shooting for 3 and you fall to 2. Well, now that week that you shot for 4, if you fall to 3, it's okay. You didn't fall to 2.
Yeah.
So maybe our next one of these has to be the nutrition topic, right?
Yeah, that seems to be the buzz.
Yeah.
So absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna cut it there. It was under 20 minutes. That's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully it's helpful. Shoot us any questions, anything that we may have missed. Chances are, if you have a question, somebody else has the same one. So
absolutely.
All right, guys.